Hello, once again, ladies and gentlemen. I've been away from, excuse me, I've been away from Facebook for quite a while. Uh, so I'm back on. Uh, I do want to post a report that I found here in Oklahoma, and it is from the Mysterious Universe website. This report was by a gentleman named Nick Redfern. Nick works full-time as a writer, lecturer, and a journalist. And he writes about a lot of different unsolved mysteries, including Bigfoot, UFOs, and the Loch Ness Monster, alien encounters, and government conspiracies. Nick has written 41 books, and he writes for Mysterious Universe and has appeared on numerous television shows on the History Channel and National Geographic Channel and the Sci-Fi Channel. So this report is taken in Tecumseh, Oklahoma, by Mr. Nick Redfern on October the 23rd, 2018. The title of this report is Drained by the Black-Eyed Children. The report goes as follows. Last week I was on Dave Schrader's Darkness radio show. Although the show was on alien abductions, we also touched on the matter of the black-eyed children. Dave asked me about some of the strange and creepier BEC accounts, black-eyed children accounts, I have in my files, which amount to quite a few. We discussed several such cases, but there is one which I didn't touch on. And that is the one of the weirdest of all. It's the account of a man named Martin who lives just outside of Tecumseh, Oklahoma. Martin's encounter with a pair of black-eyed children went down in March 2011. Fortunately, I was able to interview Martin personally just a few weeks after his experience. Martin was at home alone when he had just about the worst encounter that was possible. In terms of Martin's encounter, it occurred 2 days after he returned home as a truck driver. He had been on the road for 2 weeks and was looking forward to a few days of relaxation and fun. He got neither. On his first night back, Martin planned on watching a bunch of shows he had recorded while he was away on the road. The evening began in completely normal fashion. He made himself a big old sandwich, cracked open a cold beer, and watched all his shows. Normality was about to go out the window for this man. Around 8:30 p.m., there was a knock on the front door, the kind of which so many witnesses to the black-eyed children have now experienced, but surely wish they had not of. Martin didn't even bother looking through the spy hole. He assumed it was his immediate neighbor, Rex, who would take in any packages from the likes of UPS, Amazon, FedEx that might have been left on Martin's doorstep while he was away. Sadly for Martin, as he opened the door, he instantly realized it was not Rex. Martin got the shock of his life when he was confronted by a boy and a girl, both around 11 or 12 years of age, with large, black, eerie-looking eyes. The girl was dressed in jeans and had long-sleeved black top, while the boy had the most ambiguous black hoodie. Both looked strictly and scrawny and as if they needed a hearty meal in them. Little did Martin know that this was exactly what they were there for. Hardly a fan of the supernatural, Martin never heard of the black-eyed children phenomenon and could only stand and stare at their curious faces, assuming at first that this was some kind of a joke. But the black-eyed children were certainly not laughing. They stood together, hand in hand, looking at Martin with an expression on their faces that were paradoxically lacking in emotion, which also gave off airs of highly charged malevolence. Now, echoing Brian Bethel's encounter back in 1990, which largely began with the black-eyed children phenomenon, and oh, hold on, it's okay, baby girl. That's my dog. I got a border collie, and she cries around a lot, but she's a good little baby. Now, lay down, girl. But back to the story. As I was saying, uh, uh, back in 1990, we're echoing back on this Brian Bethel's encounter. And Martin said that when the girls said that they were homeless and needed something to eat, it all seemed very much like a ruse, as if they had been spoken the words of time and place again. It was like a carefully crafted scheme on their part. Most disturbing of all, for the moments Martin felt transfixed, almost hypnotized by those large black eyes. Indeed, he told me that he could not understand why he did not quickly shut the door at the sight of those terrible eyes. Martin could only say that it was as if he was somehow being prevented from shutting the door on the pair. One might be justified in saying Martin had been placed in a state of full-blown mind control. The girl repeated, "We need to eat. May we come in?" Martin said that he recalls her words accurately, and he felt that the girl's use of the term "may we," as in a question instead of "can we" question, sounded like how people talk way back. There is one missing portion of Martin's story. He cannot recall how the pair got into this house. He recalls inviting them in. It felt that's probably what happened right there while they got control. He volunteered them, unfortunately. But anyway, he said it felt like I said it in a dream. But the next thing he remembers is seeing the pair standing in front of him while he was sat on his living room couch. The girl said just one word, "eat." At that point, Martin suddenly felt deathly ill. It was, he said, as if he hadn't eaten in days. He explained that it was as if he himself was suddenly starving, but it was the children who needed to eat. The pair stared intently at Martin, who found himself getting weaker and weaker and weaker. Still, crashing might be more ideal term to use here. Martin found himself barely able to move, not because he was being prevented from moving, but because physically speaking, he simply did not have the energy to even stand up. It was Martin said as if he was himself being eaten alive by the paranormal pair, ghoulish things in his midst. After a few minutes, both the girl and the boy turned, and still holding hands, Martin finally managed to crawl to his bedroom, where he lapsed into a deep sleep. He did not wake until well into the following afternoon. For the next 3 or 4 days, overwhelming weakness made worse by bouts of dizziness and a bad taste in his mouth. It kept him in his bed. It was almost a week later before he finally felt fully back to normal. While Martin has no idea as to what the black-eyed children were or are, he believes they were not human and somehow had drained him of all his energy. Well, that's the report, and that was right here in Tecumseh, Oklahoma, just about 5 miles from my house. Excuse me. So that's very interesting. So yeah, that happened in October. The report was taken rather October 23rd on 2018. So wow. But that's what I have for you, and thanks for tuning in to Shadowhawk Cryptids and Strange Encounters. Good night.